Midway through Bo Burnham Inside, the musically inclined comedian sings a song where he asks the audience what they think of the special so far. Of course, there is no audience and it's just Bo in his room singing to no one, but nonetheless, he asks everyone what they like and dislike, only to immediately say that he'd rather not know. Now on the surface, I immediately chuckled at the lyrics of this track because, well, that's just it. They sounded funny to me. But when you look at Inside as a whole, the song acts as a reflection of what, at least I think, every artist experiences in some way. I've summoned the courage to share my work, I'm in a vulnerable state, are you enjoying my happiness and pain? As much as we would want to know opinions, in the end, we probably don't, and would rather the art just exist for people to interpret in their own way. Now I know, me sharing this video is kind of saying my opinion on Bo's latest special, but I also view this video essay as my own interpretation of Bo's writing, in addition to some level of reviewing because, well, it's my channel and I control what's uploaded. So that's what I'm gonna do. Bo Burnham Inside is not like other comedy specials. It really isn't a comedy special at all. It's a blending of various genres that make one insanely well-made and incredibly complex story of a man who is trying to better himself in a time where everything is miserable. It's a project that will stay with you longer than you want it to because Bo is a reflection of who we are and what we have become during this digital age and this pandemic. Bo captures themes of love, loss, control, hope, and triumph in a mere hour and 37 minutes through some of the most inventive and downright nonsensical songs you'll ever listen to. I didn't expect to make a video on Inside, and yet, here we are. So, enough talk, let's dive deep into Bo Burnham Inside. Shall we?
Hi, welcome to whatever this is.
Okay, I realize that the title of this part may be controversial to some, but don't forget, this is all my opinion. But I really do consider Bo Burnham to be the original YouTuber.
Hey Mom, my new CD is in stores now, if you want to buy it.
He's a guy that started making funny videos from his room with a less than stellar camera and managed to turn those videos into an actual career in art and entertainment. For me, Burnham was always the blueprint for what a YouTuber was and what they could go on to achieve. He's done stand-up, Netflix comedy specials, wrote and directed an incredible coming-of-age feature with 8th grade, and even co-starred in an Oscar-nominated film, Promising Young Woman. He's done it all, and yet with this project, Inside, Bo opts for less comedy and more vulnerability. Inside is a deep dive into the psyche of Bo Burnham. Every feeling he's ever had over the course of this last year and a half is brought to light here. Bo's thoughts on the current state of comedy, expertly showcased in the song Comedy and Content. Bo's feelings on the current state of the world, look no further than How the World Works, a song with an upbeat tone and incredibly dark lyrics. Bo's inability to accept that he's turning 30, he attacks aging head-on in the track 30. Bo holds nothing back during this special, almost as if everything he's singing about here has been boiling inside of him, pun intended, in his head for so long. It's clear that a lot of this special is cathartic for Burnham, who uses Inside as a way to cope with his boredom and depression that has overtaken him during this pandemic. He even says near the end of the special that he'll just work on it forever because that means it will never end and he won't have to worry about what will come next because there won't be a next. Right before this moment, though, is a hilarious but again, sinister track about the internet, its evolution, and how having all information thrown at us at once may not be good for our own mental health. It's a moment like this that showcases how incredibly talented of an artist and editor Bo is. Thanks to some terrific pacing, he's able to change tones at the snap of his fingers because frankly, that's how quickly emotions can change in a time like this. One day, Bo is singing and laughing about a white woman's Instagram, and the next, he can't even make it through a scene. Side note here, speaking of white woman's Instagram, this was the first song of the special that really showed how much work was put into making this thing. Honestly, as soon as you're done watching this video, go watch the music video for that song, and honestly, go watch the special again. It's fantastic. Okay, back to the essay. I would also be remiss if I did not speak about the incredible cinematography in this special, because oh my god is it beautiful! The way Bo slowly pushes the camera in on himself, creating a sense of closeness to the creator at a time when he is most removed from the world, his use of color and shadows in an otherwise bare and boring room, as well as his use of fog to give lighting more depth, it's all fantastic. Bo wrote, shot, directed, edited, and performed this entire special by himself, and it ties back to why I titled this section The Return of the Original YouTuber. Bo is, at his core, a content creator, the term used by most influencers of today to describe digital stars. He asks himself in the song Goodbye, "Am I right back where I started 14 years ago?" And in retrospect, he kind of is, albeit with a better understanding of how the world works. This may be a Netflix distributed special, but they had no role in the production of this project. YouTubers are in control of every level of production when it comes to making content, and with Inside, it was Bo and Bo alone. Now here's my thing. I'm not a film critic or a comedy special critic, TV critic, whatever you want to call it. I've never claimed to be any kind of critic. So when I look at Inside, I could try and sit here and write out all the things I liked and disliked, but that's not really interesting to me, besides what I have already just said. Instead, I would rather look at what I believe to be the driving theme of this special, and after 2 viewings, I was finally able to settle on what I think Bo Burnham is really trying to say here, and that, my incredible YouTube audience, is... Hi. That was my best imitation, I guess, of creating the atmosphere of Bo Burnham's Inside. And this next part of the video is, I guess, a little bit more personal, so I wanted to shoot it differently than how I normally shoot my in-person stuff. And what I'm about to say, I hope doesn't come off as tone deaf, I guess, but watching Inside just gave me another reason as to why representation in media is so important. I mean, look at me. I'm a white guy with a beard. I've never had a problem looking for representation. But Inside was different because the person that I saw in Inside was me during this entire pandemic. When you look at guys like Bo Burnham or any celebrity for that matter, it's easy to forget that they're just people, I guess, and I'm not talking about the Ellen DeGenereses of this world who are recording videos of themselves crying, having to stay inside their multi-million-dollar mansions. I'm talking about the people who, I don't know, let's say they live in a spacious area, but they feel like they can't come up for air, Bo Burnham, he's never shied away from talking about his mental health and anxiety and why he stepped away from comedy. But when I see Inside, I see a man who is unable to reconcile with the fact that despite all the work that they did on themselves, they still struggle and they can't explain why. And I looked at that and I said, that's me. Alright, not to get too personal here, but this pandemic has been hard, like it has been for a lot of us. But when I look at what I've been through in comparison to others, I think, yeah, could have been worse, or life isn't great right now, but at least you have this and this. And I recognize the privilege that I have, and the thing is, I'm grateful for everything I have in my life. And yet, some days, it's just hard to get out of bed, put on a face, and live your life. it's just hard and you can't understand why, and you wish you had the answers to fix everything, but the fact of the matter is you'll never really be able to. The things you do have in your life will help you get through all the hard stuff, but none of that hard stuff ever truly goes away. And as this special concluded, I was asking myself, why?
Why?
Why can't I really fix the hard stuff? Why are the fixes always small all the time? And I realized, and I think Bo realized this too, is that in life, we never truly have control. When thinking about this theme more in depth, I looked to the song All Eyes on Me, which is literally about how to deal with anxiety, depression, or frankly any kind of mental illness, as well as what it feels like for Bo to perform. And Bo discusses how he tried to better himself during his time away from stand-up comedy, and he says he succeeded. But right when he wanted to re-enter the world, something completely unexpected happened and steamrolled his plans.
Corona.
The one thing humanity somehow wasn't prepared to deal with, despite going through multiple of these. It bulldozed its way onto our lives and we couldn't do anything about it. How do you deal with that? How do you decide that you're finally ready to live again, only to experience something that puts an immediate break on your life? This pandemic has shown everyone that no matter how much we plan, how much we work, how many things we put in place to make something work, in the end, a lot of this world is out of our hands, and we need to be okay with that. Bo Burnham needs to be okay with that, and I need to be okay with that, and I think I am. I can't speak for Bo, though this special seems to indicate that he is somewhat okay with that.
So yeah, who fucking cares? Fuck you, and goodbye, and let's keep going.
Inside puts a spotlight on quite literally everything that's happening in this world, and it's shown through the lens of a guy who is just going through a rough patch mentally and he can't escape it. He can cope, he can move past it most days, but that rough patch is always there in some form. Maybe it doesn't show up some days, maybe even weeks, maybe even months, but when you least expect it, when you think you got all your cards in order, there's life to get you down. But, and this next part will sound sappy, so bear with me, but with Inside, even with all of its depressing themes, this special also acts somehow as one of the most uplifting things I've seen in a long time. Burnham is able to expertly balance looking at how cold the world can be with messages of hope even when all seems lost. I didn't leave Inside with a sense of dread. I left with a weird sense of optimism, because in Bo, I see myself. I see someone who's working to better themselves, but fell off a bit and needs a little help getting back to it. For Bo, that's this special. It's making people laugh, cry, and hope again. For me, it's my family, my girlfriend, her family, my friends, and these videos that, 100 or so people will watch, and maybe they'll relate to them as well. In life, and especially during this pandemic, we find ourselves looking for things to occupy our minds because all of this feels never ending, and that can make you feel like the walls are continuously closing in on you. And it's why we need to slow down as much as possible. And I know, again, I say that from a place of privilege because at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of the worries that others have had to face during this pandemic, which is why I can only speak to what I felt, which is for me, a long battle with my mental health. And even now, as I'm writing this, I feel happier. I just feel better when I write, when I sit down for dinner with my family, when I'm watching Doctor Who with my girlfriend. My girlfriend and I are on season 3 of the David Tennant era, so please no spoilers in the comments. I swear to God, I'm not kidding here. No spoilers, please. Burnham said that he hopes this special does for viewers what it did for him, which, in the simplest sense, is provide a reason to start living again. And I truly, truly hope he succeeded on that front for so many people who watch this insanely well-made special. For me, he showed me that I wasn't alone in this battle to just feel happier. He kind of legitimized everything that I've been feeling, and I'm not saying I need an artist to do that for me so, I feel seen, but, damn, man, it's just comforting to know that someone you'll probably never meet is also going through the same thing that you're going through, that someone completely unconnected to your life is also in the same battle that you're in. It's just nice, Hence my earlier point, representation in media matters.
I think I'm done.
This may be a bit shocking here, so I'm sorry if it is, but this is actually the first Bo Burnham special I've ever watched. And Bo, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, I swear to God I will watch your other specials next. And I was just blown away. I'm in shock as to how this man created this hour-and-a-half masterpiece from one room in his house. I'm amazed at the cinematography of the special and how it rivals some of cinema's best pictures. And I'm truly amazed at how Bo was able to make me laugh until my stomach hurt, cry real tears, break me down until I was a shell of a man, and uplift me to the point where I'm just happy to be on this planet. It's actually the same feeling I got from watching Pixar's Soul, and by that I mean both Inside and Soul helped me, and hopefully a lot of others, put some things into perspective.
Maybe skywatching can be my spark, or walking. I'm really good at walking.
Those really aren't purposes, 22. That's just regular old living.
We don't have control over everything in life. The world is a scary place, history is horrific, and we're in a pandemic. So what am I going to do about it? I'm just going to keep living. I'm going to hold on to the best parts of it. I'm going to educate myself on the bad stuff, and I'm going to work through the hard days, because some of them will be hard. Some of those days will make my head explode with anger, sadness, or whatever else the universe feels like throwing my way. But none of it is an excuse to stop living our lives. We manage, adapt, change, move forward, whatever it is. We have to, because the world will always be better because we're in it. And it's why I will always be thankful for the work Bo put into making this special what it is. A message for those who are struggling, saying it's okay to not be okay. For me, even with that message, my interpretation of the special is, it's okay to not be okay, but you should never stop working to better yourself. Sometimes it's hard, it's unforgiving, but in the end, you, your family, your friends, whatever it is, will be better for it. So, thanks for wrecking me emotionally and then rebuilding me almost immediately after, Bo Burnham. I really do appreciate it. What's going on, awesome YouTube community? Thanks so much for checking out my more personal than expected video on Bo Burnham Inside. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at NickManakos. And as always, I've been Nick Poulimenakos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, everyone.